Mr. LaHood.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to strike last word. I'm proud to co-sponsor the Pandemic Unemployment Fraud Enforcement Act and appreciate you bringing this bill before the committee here today. I look at this is a must-pass bill. Federal law enforcement agencies are in the middle of litigating hundreds of cases with hundreds more yet to be litigated. These cases are primarily reliant on criminal statutes that carry a 5-year limitation. This bill will establish a 10-year limit specific to the pandemic unemployment programs where we know hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars were lost to fraud. Last week, the Work and Welfare Subcommittee held a hearing on this issue and the implications of failing to act. Our witnesses made clear that extending the statute of limitations is critical to recovering these dollars. The same criminals that defrauded unemployment benefits are continuing to undermine critical programs that Americans rely on today in times of need. During our hearing, one of our witnesses, LaHood of LexisNexis, told us, quote, "The same groups doing the same thing are happening now. This time, criminals are stealing disaster benefits owed to the Los Angeles fire and North Carolina hurricane victims." As a member of the House Select Committee on China, I'm also deeply concerned about repeated reports of known international crime rings targeting the UI program. In January, the U.S. Department of Justice charged 3 defendants with fraudulently obtaining $59 million in public funds and laundering the proceeds to China. Cases like this confirm our worst fears regarding the attacks on our institutions by hostile nations such as China. This should not be a partisan exercise. In the 117th Congress, every Democrat member of this committee voted for the, quote, PPP and Bank Fraud Enforcement Harmonization Act, a bill that extended the statute of limitation for criminal charges and civil enforcement in the COVID-era Paycheck Protection Program to 10 years, exactly the same amount that we're asking in this bill. That bill passed on suspension in the House by a vote of 421 to 0 and passed the Senate by unanimous consent. The bill we are considering today is the same policy applied to pandemic UI programs, which had similar levels of fraud. H.R. 1156 has also received the endorsement of the National Association of State Workforce Agencies, representing red and blue states across the country. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit this endorsement letter dated February 11th, 2025 into the record.
Without objection.
Every dollar going to fraud is a dollar that does not go to those who need it. I hope that my Democrat colleagues will join us in supporting this common sense bill, and I yield back.